Welcome to the introductory episode of Grumpy Old Geeks. Uh, we're going to be talking about Sandman tonight, so I'll bring in my esteemed guest here in just a few minutes. We're going to be catching up a little bit, talking Sandman and some of the other comic book series. Me and Robert had talked about doing this a while back, and really been to do this. So it's kind of he kind of gave me the idea to go ahead with it, and I talked to a few other people. So and me and Keith Morange had done it last week and had a really good time with it. So me and Robert are going to dive into Sandman tonight, and God knows what else. Y'all know how that goes, but anyway, hey, tell your friends about the show. Trying to get subs up. Uh, ring that bell, all that good stuff. Do the likes, the comments, jump in the chat. Hey, throw your questions at us, and just to sit back and enjoy the show. But without further ado, I'll bring in my esteemed guest, Mr. R. Robert Garcia.
Hey there, Jerry. I thought we were talking hockey. I thought we were going
Hey,
to talk about my Red Wings.
hey, yeah, I hear you,
We're
buddy.
just a month away.
I
Well,
would
actually,
be
no, a couple
lost
months
as
away.
hell. Yeah, I would be lost, man. I know football, baseball,
hmm
everything. I know basketball, hockey. I
hmm
I, I love the sport.
Yeah.
I love the speed of it, but I've
Oh,
just
it's
never
incredible,
gotten
especially
into it,
live.
man.
Yeah, especially live.
Oh,
No, it was
I couldn't
weird.
even imagine. Everything's better live.
Yeah, I always joke that growing up a poor Mexican boy in West Texas, my mom wanted to do one good thing for us, so she got us cable, and so we had cable
Right.
as kids, and so I was on ESPN like when it started, 79, 80, and one of the
Oh
things that they
wow.
broadcast was hockey. So growing up,
Right.
I'm watching Gretzky, I'm watching McDonald from Calgary Flames. I'm watching old school hockey, and that just got me into it. And so I mean, it's sad I
I
just
got you.
aged myself, but yeah, I've been a fan of hockey since the early '80s. Dating all the way back then, and so it's
Wow.
just an incredible sport,
Pretty
especially
much.
live.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty on fan then. I got you.
hmm
Hey, man, everybody's got their thing. I mean, some people,
Yeah.
hell, I tell you, in the off times of sports, I, I catch myself watching golf, believe it or not, because I love sports. And man, I just get so hungry for some kind of sport. The
Yep.
drive between everything, and that's pretty much all there is golf. So I catch myself watching it, and
Hey, we're just a couple
I
old
mean,
geezers in that
I
same
gotta,
boat.
yeah. I mean, hell, it's interesting, man. I mean, anybody that can go
Yeah.
out there and do 18 holes like that, I mean, anybody that's ever tried to play will have all the in the world for these guys and what they do, man. It amazes me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about what I scored the last time I went golfing. It was so bad. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
It was harsh, man. It was horrible. It was dog shit. And yeah, I know we were talking right before we jumped in. You were talking about, you know, getting writing duties finished up on your next book. Tell the folks about.
Yeah, so I am writer and creator of Retribution. It is a comic, pretty dark comic, but it just deals a lot with trauma, how people handle it. Deals a lot with depression and things like that. And I try to tell people it's basically in the sense, if you want to say it's a play of like kind of like I guess it could be compared to something like The Crow, but just totally different story, different people, different reasons for why this person's back, and so on. But it really deals a lot with like mental illnesses, trying to overcome not the illnesses, but overcome like the issues that have held you back in your previous life, and so on. So yeah, we've had issues 1 and 2 come out already. Actually, I'm gonna start shipping out issues 2 pretty soon. and working on chapter three. And God, it's one of those things that yeah, I don't know about you, Jerry, but it's do you want to write a comic or you want to do a graphic novel? And I think in this indie comic
Right,
community,
right.
and we talk to so many people, and some people put out the graphic novel, and some of us put out comics, and I've always been more mainstream, more old school, where I'm going to do that 28 to
Do that
32
floppy.
page comic. Yeah, yeah. And so um, this one, I'm trying to pare it down to about 32 or 34 pages. I don't know. I'm trying to see what we can get to, and then get this out so we can start the illustration on it, and just start doing some different things with it. So this is where, for me, is where the story really starts to, like, we start peeling back that onion. We start getting to where now it's really going to start making you
Right.
cry, and
Diving
the
into
eyes
it.
are going to get all irritated. Yeah, because we really start getting into that dark journey, starting with this issue. The first couple of issues, it's always that table setter. You want people to kind of have an idea of what you're doing, and then just go from there.
And I tell you, right. And Robert is seriously underplaying his book. His book is simply amazing. The first issue blew my
Sure.
mind. I can't wait for the second issue. The story itself is, man, it just grabs hold of you and it doesn't let go. And when it's over with, you're just itching for the next issue. Like, I
Thank you.
how long am I gonna have to wait for this? But
Yeah.
it's amazing, and I can't wait to. I really can't, man.
Well, I'm waiting on yours. You're shipping pretty soon too, aren't you?
Yeah, I've actually I started shipping a couple days ago. I've been doing it in phases. I was talking with Jason Fayro the other day, and I was like, man,
Hmm.
I'm trying to take it easy on my little mail lady.
Hmm. Yep.
I've been taking a, a big pile at a time, but I don't want to hit her with everything. I've been going,
Yeah.
like every day, and I'll do or 15 or whatever. I didn't want to hit her with everything at once because I I told him I drove up. I believe it was yesterday morning, and I was right there in front, so I could see through the front door, and I could see her, and she knows me now, so she saw me,
Hmm.
and she's just like she drives, she does one of these numbers. Oh man, I felt horrible. So, but yeah, I'm getting everything out, man. I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks about it. I'm extremely proud of in today's chapter three. A, a lot went into it. That I don't know what it was, man. This third issue was, I don't know. It was like climbing a mountain, and it wasn't just
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
writing duties. I mean, it was tough. I mean, the first one so easy, but it's like I had to scratch this one. I don't know what it
Yeah.
was. I had a lot going on at work. I had a lot going on at home. So, plus I caught COVID in the middle of it. All that was
Yeah.
challenges I dealt with. But,
Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of the book, though. Extremely proud. And I can't wait to hear what all you guys
Yeah. You
think
should
about
be.
it.
I mean, yeah. It was. I mean, it's just a fun thriller. I mean, if you're into that genre, and it's weird because I don't want to compare it to Sherlock Holmes, but it's that it's that
It's
hunt.
in that
It's
nature. It's in
it's
that vein.
Yeah, it's it's
Yeah,
it's the hunt. It's trying to find out and figure out what's going on. I mean, it's just a good book. I mean, that's the thing about it, is like you're talking about something that
I appreciate it.
uh heck, I'm a little bit more jealous. I think you've got a bigger audience than I do when it comes to like what that content is. I mean, I think that's one of the things that's really nice about the book. And then I love your artistic style. I mean, it's just different, and I think
I
that's one of
appreciate
the
that.
things that I try to do with my comic too. Is it's and this is no, it's not a knock on anybody else, but you want to have something that's just visually different, and I think you've achieved that with your comic big time.
Right. I appreciate it, Robert. I really,
Yeah.
that was one of my things. I wanted to do something different, and I wanted it to be like a character in itself. Just the
Hmm. Hmm.
backgrounds, the lighting, the mood. I
Yep.
wanted to
Yep.
make you feel like you were there, and I mean that's hard to
Mhm.
do in a comic book. I've done everything I know to do, and I'm steady trying to improve on that to get it there, where it puts you there.
Well, I think in the realm of what you're drawing and what your story is about, I think they just go hand in hand, and that's one of the things I think all of us try to achieve, and that's to have a comic where you have both the writing and the visual aspect of it, kind of married in there, so they kind of just
Right.
blend into each other as you're reading it. I hate saying it, but sometimes. The story can take away from the art, or the art can take away from the story because one is superior to the other. But I think you've got a really good blend on your comic.
I appreciate it, man. Oh, let's start saying now. Before we real quick, I haven't watched the last two episodes, so we can't do a full. But
Oh man, you got to
what did
catch up, Jerry.
just give me your general. Yeah, I know. Just give me, let's start with your general thoughts and your first reaction to the first episode, and we'll go from there. And
So let me put a foundation here. So I am somebody that okay. So I'm very visual. It's why I love comics so much, and why I've always been into the art. It was just something that I just loved, that type of storytelling. Um, Hated reading books because it's kind of weird to say
right,
this, but I never liked being in my own head. I've always really appreciated how somebody else depicts something. I want to see how somebody visually does something. It's why I love movies. It's like why I love comics. It's like why I love all these things. And so when I watch these shows, I don't have that issue in the sense that how true is it to the comic. I believe that in different mediums, you've got to go out there and establish what's going to work best for you. And I very much like this series, and it's funny because I've actually watched the first, I want to say like the first 6 episodes. I've actually watched those about 3 times already. So like I watch them, and then I'll just kind of rewatch them
oh
again in the
wow,
background. Not gonna lie, yeah, like I'll be paying attention, but I try to grasp things. I love rewatching stuff a lot, or rereading a comic again or something because I try to get grasp things that maybe I missed the first
right,
time. I mean, like I'll go watch a movie, 5 times because I always love when I find something else out about the movie or about the store or about a comic after I've seen it. So I liked it a lot. I thought the character development, the actors who portray those roles, a lot of them I have seen in other movies and other shows. I thought they did a really really good job of establishing that world, and to me it was a hit. I liked the first episode. I thought was a good episode to really lay a foundation out there for people who didn't know much about the comic, and I owned
right.
the comic. I knew about the comic. I read it here and there. I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't entrenched in it back when it came out. Um, but going
Same
back
here,
now and then,
same here.
yeah, watching the show, I mean, I really, really appreciate what Netflix did with this, especially since they're losing all their customers and they're flushing everything down the tubes. Um,
Yeah,
I,
they
I
need
thought this
some.
was,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought this was a winner for them. I really, really liked it.
yeah. And when I had reservations about it when I first heard that Netflix was doing it, and don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, Netflix some really really good series, but I mean, you've heard
Yeah,
the
but they
talk
also
that
have
this
their
was one of those.
uh,
Yeah,
sorry, Trey. No, I was just gonna say, but they've also had
that
their
this was one of those.
huge pieces of dumps that they've made. I mean, they have had some
Oh yeah,
really
definitely.
bad
They
shows.
they
Yeah.
oh
So
yeah, they dropped some turds in the punch bowl, so to speak, for sure.
yes, sir. Yes, but I mean, this was good. I mean, I
Yeah,
just
and
everything. I mean, even towards the end, like Desire is just like one of my favorite characters, and just reading the whole backstory and how that actor actually got the role, and there's just so many fun characters in this, and um, I like the way they translated the comic to a I mean, they're both visual mediums, but a live medium. I like the way that translation happened. I think they did a really good
Right.
job with it.
Yeah. I had heard, you hear all the noise before a show starts, and
Hmm.
everybody had always said, I mean, this thing's been in development hell for close to 30 years, and a
Yeah.
lot of people said that this was one of those properties that could adapt it, that it
Yeah.
just, the technology wasn't there. The, I, I don't know what the word is for it really, but after I say did what Stars did with gaming American Gods, I
Hmm.
started to have hope for Sandman,
Yeah.
which I had read the comic on and off, and I had always kind of in the back of my mind wanted to see this thing happen because I always thought I've always liked those stories that were kind of out there on the outside edges that didn't really kind of it wasn't mainstream, you know. And I've always liked
No.
stuff like that that was different and just out there, but really interesting. It was a really interesting concept, and the story. What I remember reading when I was younger was just incredible. I mean, the art. I'm not even get started on the art, but the story itself.
Hmm.
It was amazing. It gripped me, and
Yeah.
when I seen this first episode, it just blew my mind. I mean, I thought the casting was perfect. Uh, and correct me if I'm what I can't remember exactly which episode it was, but the episode where they introduced Death. I think it was titled "The Sound
Ep-
of Her Wings."
I
That
want to say that's
that one got me,
issue
man.
episode
That
five. I think episode five. Well, I think
yeah,
let's see here. I'm
that
sorry, episode six.
episode
Episode
broke me,
six.
man.
Yeah. I think I mean when you think about what Neil Gaiman did with the comic, I think you take this concept that we all have dreams, right? We all have nightmares, we all have great dreams. And I think he took the
Right,
concept of dreams and gave it this world, this world that has so much more meaning and purpose than what the average or everyday person is. I know there's some people out there who study dreams, and yes, the dreams mean everything to them. But just the average person out there. Okay, I had a dream, blah blah blah
right,
blah. It was funny. This happened, that happened, so on. But to be able to take that, a dream, and then build a whole world around it, build the conspiracy that he built in there, build the challenges of like that ruler, that leader of that dimension, and then tie in all the other aspects, desire, death, discourse, you have all the different people that are tied into it. it I thought was great, and for me it was the artwork too. I mean, when that comic came out, that was one of the reasons why I got it, was because I like the artwork, because I love something gritty. I love something that looks dark. I like when the characters aren't, beautifully polished and this and that. It's just, I just want to see some grime out
right.
there. And I think that's what that comic established. But I think just the story, I love the story. I mean, it's so captivated by what he was able to create in that world of a dream.
Right. And I mean, said earlier, I had my doubts that they could bring that to the
Hmm.
screen. And the way that they did it, man, the way they set up Dream and the first episode, well, the first couple episodes where they bring him in, and he's and captured, and some of the visuals on this thing were just out of this world, man. I
Yeah.
mean, I would love to know. I haven't even looked. I would love to know what they sunk in this show. It's got to be a ton of money
Oh,
because the
yeah. And
visuals
I
were
forget
just
because
incredible.
I think I had heard that number. Well, I mean, like the cast, and I got to look this up because I'm just going to butcher it if I start trying. I mean, I'm not going to remember everybody's names because I'm horrible with names. But like some of the people that are in it, I mean, obviously
Yeah,
Patton Oswalt is great in everything he does, but Vivian, uh,
right.
actually in Pong, I think as Lucian, she does a phenomenal job. I loved Death, and where's she at? Oh no, no, not Death. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of hell, and she's been in Game of
Lucifer
Thrones. See, I knew I was going to see
Morningstar.
it. Yeah, and I don't have. Why don't I have the
Yeah,
full
Lucifer
cast? Show me the full
Morningstar.
cast. Yeah, and just
Gwendolyn Christie.
thank you,
Gwendolyn
Gwendolyn
Christie.
Christie, and like everything she does, whether it be Star Wars, whether yeah, she was in Star Wars, was she not? Let me see this. She was in Game of Thrones. I just everything she touches and she portrays, she just does such a great job with it, and um, I just I love her, as an actress. I think she has just like nailed it. And I thought and that was just such a great episode because when you go through that battle, which is like pulled right out of the comic book, and you get to the last dance there, as far as, she is this, she's a Nova and she's destroyed that planet. And then he becomes the universe, and then she becomes like the what did she call it? The darkness of like that sucks in the universe, almost like a black hole, or what, black matter, whatever we want to call it now that we all study.
Right.
But when she goes there, and then when
No
he
matter,
just comes
yeah.
back with the simplest of answers of hope. And it's funny because it's
Hope.
like you just see the
That was,
perfect
yeah.
corner that he painted her into, and it's just awesome because you go from being the dire wolf and this and that, and you're trying to come up with all these animals and so destructive, and or just so infinite in the universe and a planet and blah blah, and then just the simplest of things, kind of like a dream, how that just gets tied in, and the way that they depict it, I thought was awesome. And you just see just I mean, they're in hell, but you see the beauty of the fact that hope is just that thing that's everlasting and keeps everybody
Right.
moving forward and everybody believing in something's going to be better, or there's that future out there. And it's that one thing that the only thing that kills hope basically is death. And obviously she couldn't be death because then she's dead. It's just it's
Right.
just such a cool episode. I
Exactly. He
do.
had her.
Yeah, yeah. And that episode what was it, episode 5, is the one where John goes into the diner, and it's weird because when you think about how you depict something
Oh
like
wow,
that,
an
yeah,
exceptional episode.
yeah, and you do everything just in a room, and I know that you have the kitchen and you have the main dining hall and everything, but to shoot everything in that room and just have that all that interaction, all that goes on, all the different storylines that get tied into it. I thought that was just another great episode as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, there was so much that they tackle. If I remember right, I want to say this first. Well, this first season, kind of come into about the first volume of Sandman and maybe a
Hmm.
piece of the second, if I remember right. It's been so long since I actually read the comic, and
No.
I can't remember exactly how to trade paperbacks up. But I'm gonna have to. It's given me a new appreciation for the literary work, for the comic. It's making me want to go back and read this thing from start to finish, and see how they build off of that with a series, because they made some different choice. They changed,
Mhm.
but everything just works, man. Everything that they did. I don't know if Neil Gaiman being a part of it and kind of, if I ain't mistaken, he was working hand in hand with the showrunner, but I don't know if he was the missing link to making this work or not, but they did. I mean, they nailed it. Everything about it. It was just incredible. Incredible. Even down to the casting. I want to say they cast like over 1,000 people for
Mhm.
Dream before they actually decided on the guy that they played him. And the I think her name's Baptiste, the one they picked for Death. They made a
Yeah.
change
Mhm.
there, and it works. She was perfect.
Yeah.
As soon as I seen her in that first scene, first little short scene with her, spot on, man. It was just spot
Mhm.
on casting. Everything they did with this
Yep.
thing was just. I see no mistakes. I have no gripes about the series. Everything works.
Yep. And I think just the simplicity. I mean, the simplicity. You have her there in
Exactly.
jeans and just like a tank top, and just
Yeah.
there was a beauty about it in the sense that I think most of us, nobody wants to die. We all know that's going to happen eventually, and some of us, actually fear it and are scared of it. But the way she handles those transitions, I mean, there was such beauty in it,
Oh
and like
yes, God
here
yes.
you have death, but you have it translated in such a beautiful way, and then just her performance. I mean, she
Right.
is like just one of those people that you're like, okay, just read me a bedtime story because every time you read me a bedtime story before
Exactly.
I go to
I
bed,
could listen to her.
yeah,
I could
I'm going to
listen to
be
her
at
read the
peace.
damn phone book.
The peace that she
Yeah.
brings in those scenes, and just how well it's depicted from the comic and what they did with it, and again, I'm not going to get caught up in casting. I'm not one of those people that's going to be, oh, they did this, they changed it from a man to a
Right.
woman, or they changed the color. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
enjoy the presentation. If the presentation is what
Exactly.
everything
Let it
is, yep,
happen
yep,
before you judge it.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep,
Let it
yep,
happen. And they just
and
nailed it, man.
yeah,
Go ahead,
and
Rob.
no, 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 I agree with you. You were saying that was your favorite episode, and I try to think, because I think that episode, again, without revealing too much, is like such a transition into the last episodes, and I think the last episodes like really set you up for season two, if there's a season two, because it seems like there's going to be a season two, but then Netflix cancels everything because Netflix has no money.
That's another thing I was really worried about,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, after the viewing that they've had with this, I don't see how they can not do it. I mean, I
It's
really don't.
just,
I mean,
but
they need something. Strange
yeah,
Things
but
is ending, all that stuff's ending. They need something.
it's just so weird because I think I'm not trying to dive into another world here, but streaming has changed so much as far as what people will pay for and what they want to watch. But anyway, yeah, I would love to see this brought back. To me, uh,
Oh yeah.
it's like Arcane to me is like one of the best things Netflix has done in a long, long time, and thank goodness that they got that second season coming out, and uh, especially for us
Yeah.
comic book fans, the fact that they were able to illustrate that in a 2D, 3D type of scenario. And I'm here in Austin, and I know there's two
It was beautiful.
VFX
Beautiful.
companies here that actually worked on that show, and it just, that was for me to this date. And I'm trying to think, because I mean, if you like the straight comic thing, Invincible was pretty freaking awesome, but visually, what they were able to do with Arcane to me was just superior to anything else I've seen. But again, it's being
It
able
was
to
incredible.
make that translation, and I think with Sandman, they've done a great job. I can't think of any character, especially if you haven't read the comics. I just, I think every character, the way they did everything, the way they introduced everything, and all the people involved, I mean, pretty much hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, even what it's she's Johan, right? No, Joanna Constantine. Um, she had that
Yeah,
cockiness about
Johanna.
her. Yeah, Johanna. She had that cockiness about her. I mean, she played that role well, and if you tie into it, I mean, I think what in the comics, isn't she like a, she's an
John
ancestor.
Constantine.
But in the comics, isn't she actually an ancestor of John Constantine? I thought she was like, again, all that stuff may have been rewritten, but that's one of those deals to where, you know,
Yeah, in the original, it was actually John Constantine
yes,
or
yeah,
Constantine, whatever side of the pond you're on.
yeah. But I mean, bringing her in, I don't think it, to me, it didn't hurt it at all. I don't know. I thought
Mm-mm.
it was
It was
a great
perfect.
tie-in. Yeah, and again, yeah, she's an ancestor of John Constantine. So I liked her role. I mean, I like the way she played it, and I know everybody loves what's the actor's name who's played him? Not Keanu Reeves. I'm talking about the English actor with the blonde hair, but I'm not sure that
Oh,
was
yeah.
canceled.
Yeah.
I know people
And
love him,
then, well,
and there
they,
was complaints he wasn't
yeah,
portraying the role, but again, I think everything that they've done, to me, you can't really tear apart anybody's role in that show. Even Mark Hamill, Mark Hamill being in
oh
the
man,
show.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What little bit he was in there, I loved it.
Mhm, yeah.
I loved it. And what did you think about the Corinthian?
Oh, I thought he was fantastic. And, you go back to, he's in Logan, and he played a bad guy in Logan and did a great job
Right.
with that. Uh, I thought he
He was
did a
in
really good
the
job.
Predator, the
Yeah, yep, yep,
one that
exactly.
they
Yep,
did
yep,
like a year or
yep.
two ago.
Yeah, he's in
He's
that. I
an
mean, he's been
exceptional
in a lot of
actor.
movies, and yeah, and I like that guy. I like him a lot, and I thought he did a great job. I think, just like he did with the, like I said in Logan, I think he has that. He's able to translate that type of personality that gives you that whole thing where he's evil, but then in a way, well, actually, he didn't like him in
But
Logan,
he's
but
got that charm,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
He
yeah, and
turned
the
that
Sandman,
charm
yeah,
on
the
like
charm and
that.
everything, yeah. Yeah, and the Sandman. I mean, he just he's one of those bad guys that you love to hate and you hate to love, and it's just he did a great job.
Yeah. And man, the when they I can't remember the part where the serial killers were in the diner and
Oh yeah,
they were talking right there, that man, and then he just pops up right there with all of them and he's like, hey, and they're like, oh my god, you're him.
yeah, yeah.
It just
Yeah, that was a real. It's it was an interesting, an
oh,
interesting
definitely, it was
show.
definitely interesting.
It was very creepy in the sense that yeah, it's like we
Exceptionally.
yeah, you get all these are just all average day Joes out there who are just doing some
Yeah, just
heinous,
normal people.
heinous stuff. Yeah, people that you wouldn't be afraid of walking down the street, but somebody you would never want to meet in a dark
Right.
alley or in the wrong situation. It's just
Definitely.
evil,
Definitely.
evil, evil people.
Evil people.
Yeah, yeah,
Put a capital E in it.
yeah. Just a very
So
unnerving issue.
right. Other than Sandman, what else have you been watching here lately? What I hadn't even talked to you since Obi Wan. What did you think about Obi-Wan?
Man,
Go
Star
ahead,
Wars.
man. We touched
Man,
on it the other day. Me and there were things about it that I really liked, that they really nailed, but there was
mhm.
so I think my expectations were so high for this show that there's no way they would have ever met every expectation. But boy, did they fall way short of even close to meeting most of them. I mean,
Okay.
it had a strong beginning and a really
Mhm.
strong ending, but all the middle was dog shit. I mean, that's just it
No,
was
Jerry,
dog
tell
shit,
me how
man.
you feel, please. Don't keep it
Yeah,
in. Let it out.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So what did you
as I
think
was trying
about
to say, so as a guy who was old enough to remember, who watched Star Wars 21 times, like literally, we would walk to the theater every day that summer to watch it, and we watch it over
it? Oh
and
wow.
over and over. Reciting words. I have had a big problem with Star Wars. I love okay, and when I put these in order, I'm sorry, I'm not going to tell you the blah, blah. When the first movie came out back 80s, right, or 70s. God, it's been so long. The first
77
two, Star Wars, and second one is help
Empire.
me out here, Empire Strikes Back. I always say the wrong. Love those two movies. Okay.
Oh
Um,
god, yeah.
After that, I wasn't a big fan of the Ewoks, and maybe just that time in my life because I was certain now you get that teenage thing and you just don't like the little furry cuddly
Right,
bears.
right.
And then
It
when
hit me the
the next
perfect
three
age.
the next three came out, the prequels, I hated the Jar Jar Binks, and I am more of a serious and more of a darker type of sci-fi guy. Blade Runner, just
Right.
Space Odyssey. What's it called? The really dark, dark, ugly one on the ship. The ship that's possessed.
Oh god.
Oh,
Deep
I like
Horizon?
the ugly.
Something
Yeah,
Horizon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Event Horizon. Event Horizon.
Event
Aliens.
Horizon,
I
that's
mean,
it.
yeah, those are like in more my sci-fi genre. So I have
Right.
not been the biggest fan. I loved. It's hard for me not to say that Rogue One for me is the best Star Wars movie out there. I love Rogue One. I
I did too.
love that movie. I mean, love it, love it, love it. I've watched it already easily more than a dozen times. Um, I've been very disappointed with what Disney has done with Star Wars with all these shows. I
Oh,
I couldn't finish Boba Fett. Boba Fett to me was about
oh man, I
um,
did. I wish I hadn't, but I
oh,
finished it.
that was brutal. And I'm one of those people. I will finish bad shows because I want to see what somebody's trying to do, and I just couldn't. I mean, it's just well, I mean, I'll finish it, but I'm still not there yet. I liked Mandalorian. I wanted way more out of it, but I liked it. I
Yeah,
feel like a lot of these shows get too, I know, sometimes philosophical. Sometimes, like I just feel like they just like give us more grit. Like
yeah.
just give us more,
And you know,
And
I
mhm.
think we're gonna get that in Andor. I don't know if
I
you've
hope we do.
read
I
a
hope we
lot
do.
about it.
Hmm.
Man, from everything I've seen of it, it's what I've been waiting on. That grit.
Yes.
You get to see the dirty underbelly of the
Yeah.
rebellion, folk getting their
Exactly.
hands dirty to making it
Yeah.
happen. And yeah, we're gonna take a deep dive into the rebellion, and not only the rebellion, but you're going to see the empire in its prime and just what it was doing to people to make them want to rise up and even start the rebellion.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
that's the
gonna be
whole thing. I'm sorry.
exactly.
If
No,
you're
it's
going to
fine.
start a
Go ahead.
rebellion and you're going to try to topple the most powerful thing that we've seen in the universe that is basically destroying things left and right, you're going to have to sink basically as low as they do. And that's what was so great about Rogue One is
Exactly.
that
You
with
got to
that
see that.
character, yeah, you see that, and that's the thing. That's realistic. That's realistic, and that's what I love so much about Rogue One. I'll be honest with the last three that came out. Like again, I forget all the names, but with
Oh,
what's her name? Uh,
they're easy to forget. The last three.
well, I actually liked the first one. I liked the first one. Second one was and it's the same thing. It's just like started falling downhill. Like the first three, Star Wars, Empire, and then I didn't like Return of the Jedi. The middle three, I just didn't like any of them.
Right.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is what you asked me about. I'm sorry because I always get off track. I liked
No,
it.
it's fine. I
I
do the
liked it.
same thing.
I liked it better than Boba Fett by a mile. I wouldn't put it.
Oh yeah.
Mandalorian's still my favorite right now.
Oh, definitely.
And but yeah, I agree with you. First episode of Obi-Wan extremely strong, and I think it captures that whole, you know, all of us Jedi's just got the caca kicked out of us. Okay, we're all freaking
Yeah.
dead. I'm one of the last few remaining out here. I'm just trying to hide out because how in the hell am I going to battle what the empire has going and and all that they're doing, and they're out here just trying to find all of us and assassinate us and kill us, and you got that vibe and you got it. But yes, then um it just started bugging me, and I hate saying this because I being a father of two daughters, just the gal who played Leia and
Yeah.
the way that they portrayed her, I just it just wasn't realistic in my head. I thought that they
No.
just made
There
her.
were certain things that they
Uh,
got right.
yeah.
I think, and I don't put that on the little girl. I thought she did an exceptional job.
Hmm.
She kind of captured the essence,
Hmm.
the essence of Leia, but there were
Yeah.
certain decisions, directorial decisions, and the way they play her. She was way more than she needed to be. They figured out
Yeah.
with her. I I feel like Obi-Wan should have got her as soon as he found out Anakin was alive, got her home, and then went on. The rest of the show should have been him hunting Vader and having to deal with Vader. I think it in dealing with not only Vader but the oh god, what do we call them? The Vader's
Oh,
henchmen,
yeah.
the
The
Inquisitors,
yes,
dealing
the
with all the
Inquisitors.
Inquisitors.
Yeah. Oh, and there with both of us can't remember anything. The character that they bring in, I mean, she's dark as hell. She wants to be the
Reva,
leader of the
yeah,
Inquisitors. She wants to prove
Reva,
herself.
yeah.
Yeah, Reva. She wants to prove herself, and I feel bad because I think again this is where people trashed the actor when I didn't believe she deserved it at all. Just like, and I agree with
No,
your point. I don't believe the actress that played young Leia deserved to be trashed. I believe
no.
to be that young, I'm sorry, there's a lot of young brave people. I have a hard time believing that somebody that young is going to be, have the stature that she had in the series. I'm sorry, you're not going to sell me on that. But the same thing with Reva.
Right.
I think it made no sense to be as violent and as ugly and as dark
No,
inside as she is, and then at the end she's just going to give up Anakin. It's like, I mean, give up Luke. That's just not going to make sense. Okay, you're not going to just
I
give
didn't
up Luke
buy it.
because,
I didn't
yeah,
buy it.
yeah, and the fight scene at the end, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, that's one of the best that they've ever done. I mean, that was one of the
Oh
best
yeah,
fight sequences.
that's in.
Uh,
That's
oof,
one of my top 3 all-time
yeah.
lightsaber duels. Was that one?
hmm I mean, they nailed that, nailed it. But then again, you
Yes.
have that episode with that, and then you have the whole issue with her going after Luke and the decisions that she makes. She doesn't kill his aunt and uncle, which she
Right.
would have. It just,
Oh
yeah,
God,
it
yeah.
just
I
left
mean,
a lot to
the
be desired.
stormtroopers took them out. You know, in A New Hope,
Yep,
a few little dinky stormtroopers took them
yep,
out, and
exactly.
you're going to
And
say they
then
fought off a damn force user? No,
this is
no.
my thing with Star Wars. It drives me crazy, and not even just Star Wars, but I think in a lot of action films in general, is that okay? Look, I know we're trying to stretch reality here and so on, but man,
Right.
every single stormtrooper cannot have 20/80 vision. Okay, they are not that bad of shots, and you had sequences
Somebody in the
in
whole
that
damn bunch has
show.
got to be able to shoot.
My
Yeah,
gosh. I mean, like, come on. It was so unrealistic. I mean, there's a point where the way it's depicted, Obi-Wan's 10 feet away, and you've got 12 guys firing off
that's what I was just fixed to
their
say. He's got them on both sides in a small hallway, and
ridiculous.
they've got repeater blasters steady firing at him
hmm
and don't hit him.
and yeah,
I
and we've
call
seen
bullshit.
that's yeah, exactly, because we've seen how other Jedi have been taken down in that manner. So, and
Right.
the thing when you're seeing this, it's not Obi-Wan literally deflecting every single blast that comes at him. It's they're and then they're missing by 10 feet, and I'm like, come. And that's
No.
what just drives me crazy is that
Right.
I when you try to make everything for everyone, when you try to make the 8-year-old love it and make the 6-year-old love it, I think that's when you screw things up because you can't.
Yeah. You gotta
It's
pick
just,
you
yeah,
you gotta go with your story. You gotta get your story together and just go with it. And the
yeah,
audience will find it. You nailed it. You cannot please both fandoms. I mean, Star Wars, we all know it. The fandom is ever since The Last Jedi, or yeah, The Last Jedi, fandom
hmm
has been split right down the middle. And ever since then, Star Wars has been scared to death to
oh
just
yeah,
go with something and just stick with the story. They're trying to please both sides of the aisle, and you're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. It's just like politics. You
yep.
you got to pick a side and go. You know.
Well, and you also have some of the most rabid, toxic fans out there when it comes to following a certain genre or whatever. I mean, just I
Yeah,
prefer my Star Trek fans. I'm a Star Trek fan, and they're doing some great things on Paramount right now. And I grew up both Star Trek
I've heard
and
that.
Star Wars. And my mom was a Star Trek fan, and that's why I watched
My
it when I
mom
was
was a
young. And
huge Trekkie.
yeah, yeah. My mom loved. I mean, she was all about. And he's right here on my desk. And why can't I think of your name, William Shatner? You are Captain. Oh, come on, what Captain Kirk? Yeah, my mom just worshipped
Yeah,
Captain Kirk, and I like that. I like Generations. After Generations, I'm not gonna lie, I was just at that age where they kind of lost me. But this rebirth with Anson Mount and in a role where he can
is
actually
it really?
talk,
Is that
unlike
show really that good?
yeah,
I've heard
I
it's so
feel
good.
I feel they're really capturing the essence of what it used to be way back then
The
with Star
original?
Trek
Oh
and with
wow!
Generations. Yeah, Star Trek and Generation. I feel that
Oh
they've done a
wow!
really really good job with that. And Anson Mount, again being able to talk because he's no longer Black Bolt and having his head blow up. It's like I think, and I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's good to see that. But I just, yeah,
Hey, sounds right.
Obi Wan just it's just I'm not like, yeah, it's just disappointing. There are moments when you see, man, this could be great, and then it just flops. And
Yeah,
like
just fell
I
flat.
and Boba Fett to me just from the beginning, I was like, come on, let's get somewhere. Like, let's get somewhere with this. And it just, and Mandalorian, I like Mandalorian. Mandalorian, I liked it. I still felt it needed a little bit more pep, but still, I enjoyed it, and I watched that series twice. I'll
It's
probably watch
getting
Obi
better
and
every season, though. It really is to me.
yeah,
It feels like it's getting grittier, it's getting
I'll agree.
darker. It's
Yep,
I can't wait to see this next season where they wind up going back to Mandalore, trying to
no,
retake it.
yep. I just, I don't know. It's just so all over the place. Like I said, but when you can produce a movie like Rogue One, which is so damn good, and
It's
you
light
put that
years
out,
ahead of everything else. Yeah,
yeah, and it's so well written, so well depicted, so well portrayed by the actors, and just the role. Some of the best battle scenes that we've seen. I mean, just when they're
oh
trying to
god,
get
yeah.
through the shield and everything. I mean, just great stuff that we saw in that. And then, like I said, some of these other movies, I'm like, what are you guys trying to do here? And I get all the knocks on Ray in these last three movies because you know I
Yeah.
just,
It's like
she
she just discovers the force and
and becomes a
she's all
superwoman
powerful. She
Jedi.
can take out the emperor. Yeah, she can. She's a miracle
Yeah,
healer. We've
yeah,
never
yeah.
seen that in the Star Wars universe. I mean,
Oh
she's
man,
and
yeah.
I don't know, man. It was insane. I I wish to God they'd have had a plan and just stuck with it. The
Mhm,
movies were just like the shows. It's just these last three movies were all over the place. JJ come in with the Force Awakens,
mhm.
and it was really good. It was really good. You had Han Solo back. Yeah, he got killed, but it was a
Well, it was
good
good. I
movie.
hate to say it was good to have him killed because it put that
It fit the
level of
story.
gravity, of yeah, validity
Yeah,
of gravity to the ish. I mean, to the movie, to the that episode, that whatever that arc
right.
right there, and just out of the darkness and this and that, and you
It
feel
fit the
horrible.
story.
Yeah, and then you just start taking it, and then now you just feel like, well, aren't you just kind of like redoing the first three movies? Except for Ray just becomes way
Yeah.
more powerful than anybody we
Oh,
ever
yeah.
knew. and
Yeah.
oh
Why we
yeah,
even need Luke?
yeah, exactly, yeah,
He
because
didn't
she's
need to
just gonna
die.
whoop everybody.
We could have left him on Octu or wherever the hell he was
Yeah,
and just let him be, and he'd still be. She didn't need him.
it just yeah. And then with Obi-Wan, just when the powers just get all over the place, it's just like crazy. Like, Darth being able to hold that shit back and this and that and just do the
Yeah.
things they do. And it's like, I'm like, I don't remember Darth doing that in the first three movies. I don't remember
No,
him
it's amazing
just,
how much the force has grown in the
yes,
Disney
yes,
era. You've seen way
yes.
more stuff with the force than
This
we
is the
ever
force on
seen in the
drugs.
original.
It's like the
Exactly.
force on meth. It's like where it's
No
totally hyped
doubt.
up and flying.
And
But
and what was crazy, I don't know what you thought about it. Okay, he grabs the first ship, the
mhm.
decoy, but all of a sudden he doesn't have enough juice to just let that one go and grab
Exactly.
the other
Thank
one.
you. And wasn't
I
it a
mean,
smaller
come
ship or
on.
something? Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm like, it's 10 feet
Same ship,
further out or
same
20 feet.
size
Yeah,
ship.
right next to it and just
Yeah,
moved out. You couldn't be like, oh, put that one down and boom, let me get that other one. Yeah.
right.
And that's the
Same
thing is
thing
that
with
there's,
Obi-Wan. He catches he starts the fire on the ground. He starts dragging Obi-Wan through it,
yeah.
but then the lady shoots the thing and makes the big explosion. There's more fire, and
And he
all of a
doesn't want
sudden,
to
they
do
can't
it.
do
Yeah,
nothing with
yeah,
that.
yeah. It just, the inconsistencies on the power
It's
levels,
all over the
on what
place.
they're doing. Yeah. And it's just bad. I mean, there's no other way to put
Yeah,
it. It's just bad. And
yeah.
we live in the world now of retreads, and sadly, people our ages are just like trying to retread all these things from before. Although I don't know if you saw Top Gun, but man, they did a hell of a job with that. I
Oh
saw it
my
three
god,
times.
I
They
loved
did a
it.
hell
I
of a job
loved
with
it.
that. I mean, you want to talk? hey, Tom Cruise was right. You got to wait 30 years, and then you go out and do it. Um,
Exactly.
and
It was
who?
exceptional, though. I loved it.
Oh, who put that out? What movie company?
Um,
Because
was it
there's no way they don't do
Paramount?
another one.
Paramount.
I think it's Paramount, yeah. And now it's not going to be 30 years. It'll maybe be 5, and you know there's an next one coming out, and it's going to be all
Oh
on
yeah, they're
Goose's
already
son.
talking about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be Goose's boy, and who knows where it'll go. But I mean, sometimes like you just wish they would leave, well enough alone. And
Leave stuff alone. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
Cruise's ambition. Was one movie. He wanted to finish that up. He thought that movie tied everything up in a nice little bow.
Hmm.
But hey, money talks.
Yeah,
I
it had to
mean,
go and make $1 billion. Damn movie.
oh yeah, and still climbing. Hell,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing jumped. It went
It jumped up in
from
sales this last
okay,
week.
we're
Yeah,
dude. I want to say this last weekend was week 13 in the theater, and it come up and went from the
yeah,
number 6 slot back up to the number 3 spot. I
yeah,
mean, this thing just it keeps rolling, man. It keeps
yeah.
rolling.
It's a good movie. I mean, they did a good job with it, and it's a simple storyline. Um,
Yeah,
yes, is a lot of it somewhat unbelievable? Yeah, yes and no.
yeah.
Just the flying
But
scenes
you
that were
can
just so
suspend the
incredible. Yeah,
belief that I
yeah,
mean
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
might not be possible, but it's believable.
yeah.
You
Exactly,
know,
exactly. Yes, and
and
just the
they've got an unknown enemy. They never specified who the enemy was. It was
exactly,
just
yes.
the
And they
enemy.
did a great job with that. Yeah, and you don't need to know. I mean,
Exactly.
it's just a mission. We got to
No.
complete this mission. The one thing that just killed me because
Right.
it's so, and these planes can do it, is when they're getting chased by the newer plane. I forgot what they call those planes. There's a terminology to them. But when it comes up, remember, and it just stops and then just
Yeah.
because the thing is,
Yeah.
those planes can do that. Those planes are sick.
Exactly.
It's just yeah, it's just such a good movie, you know. So, but it just I'm just pumped for kind of what's out today. I mean, She Hulk starts up today, so I'm hoping.
Well, I'm not
Uh,
going to spoil anything for you. I watched it
please
this
don't. Yeah,
morning, and all I can say is you're going to love it.
and
You will
you know,
love it.
Jerry, and it's I hate to say it, it's guys who look like you and me who are crotchety old bastards who like are trying to put a damper on these things. Like I was cracking up because I was seeing some reviews. And there was actually reviews from people who hadn't even seen the series, but were theorizing what it was going to be about, and they were already ripping it. And I'm just like, how can you
Oh,
rip something when you don't even know what the hell it is? Oh, I know why, because it has a strong female character as the lead. Well, it's
yeah.
freaking She-Hulk, okay? And it's not a it's not a
Yeah.
character they just created. She's kind of been around for a while, and if you don't know about her in the comics, she's kind of her own woman who does whatever the
She's a
hell she
badass.
wants. Yeah, it's like that's what's always been so fun about her character, a la Deadpool in a sense. But she's
Yeah.
a woman who's gonna, hey, if she wants to go get a piece of action, she's gonna get a piece of action. If
She's
she
going to
wants
get
to
it.
break the fourth wall, she's gonna break the fourth wall. If she
Right.
doesn't want to take being a superhero serious at times or most of the time, it's like she just does her deal. And I think like what is I just don't get that. Like I don't get that anymore as to why people have to crap all over something just because
I
of
tell you,
yeah,
well, it's as simple as this, Robert. It's like a train wreck. It's a horrible or a fire. It's a horrible thing, but guess what? People are going to watch it.
yeah, yeah,
People are drawn to negativity. That's the sad world we live
yep,
in.
very true.
And but yeah, how do you knock something you hadn't even seen? I could never do that. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
this show, you've got hundreds of people that draw a check and worked, and bled and sweat and put all their efforts into making this thing,
hmm
and to try and make it good, you know. So I try to give people the benefit of the doubt till I actually watch the thing,
Exactly. And
and
then
I
try to
try to be as
appreciate that
positive
story.
as
Yeah.
possible.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
Because
I seen a couple people that were shitting all over the CGI from the trailer, and
yeah.
dude, they were trying to get a trailer out. They weren't even finished with the show yet, and you're
Yeah.
already judging the CGI.
Yeah.
They were trying to get you a trailer, and
Yeah.
you're going to shit on it.
I
I
totally agree.
trust me, they fixed the CGI. The CGI
Yeah.
works, and that's
Um.
all I'm gonna say about it. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's awesome. You're gonna love it. If if you liked Ally McBeal, this is gonna be right in your lane.
I don't know what you guys talked about last week, but I know it's been a while since I spoke to you. So a couple of things that just wrapped up recently. I mean, I guess just Marvel side of it. Um, Miss Marvel, like I appreciated the show and all that. I love the family aspect of it. I thought they did some
Right.
good things. I know some people were upset about their powers, but I thought they did a really good job of tying in those powers into this show. My thing is, I'm not gonna lie, I'm just
Yeah.
not a big fan of teenage shows. I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm not telling them to get off my lawn, but I just, I don't know why. Like that
It
is just
wasn't for
not.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was really well done, but it just
Oh
wasn't
yes,
for our demographic.
extremely well.
It
Yeah,
was not for our
it just
demographic.
Oh, it was. It's just not. Yeah, it's not my age. I just a bunch of young teenagers,
Yeah.
which
I
is
was
funny
aged out
because
on that.
yeah, and I watched it and I appreciate it and I thought they did some brilliant things in it,
Yeah.
but just like I said, just I mean, but to me that's still like I wouldn't give it a thumbs down. I mean, that's something that I liked it. I wish they would have done more with Carol Danvers at the end, though. I mean, just a little pop appearance there. I wish
Oh yeah.
they could have
Yeah.
tied that
Well,
little because she's going to be in the miss
all
in the
that's gonna
Marvels
come
movie.
into in the Marvels, yeah.
Yeah, she's in it. Yeah,
Ends off that what we seen that in that end credit scene is gonna pick up in Marvels.
yes, yeah,
If I
Kamala's in that,
if it happens
and
like I heard it was. Yeah.
so I mean, it was good. I watched
What'd you think about
Moon
Moon
Knight.
Knight?
I think I that was one of those to where I think I loved the first 4 episodes and then I faded at the end. I wasn't a big
Yeah.
fan of the
Same
ending.
here.
I like the ending scene that they did to the credits. I thought that was an awesome way to kick
Oh
off
yeah,
the next
yeah.
season. Yeah, I like that a lot. But yeah, again, another one that I thought was really strong, like the first 4 or 5,
It felt
not
rushed.
episodes. Yeah, and then it just kind of died down. I actually just binge watched The Umbrella Academy, and I had watched the
Oh
first
my god, I
season.
love that show.
I
Love it.
tailed off in the second season. I'm not gonna lie, I tailed off in the second season,
Really?
but man, did I like this third season. Or was it fourth season?
Oh man, it
What
was
season are we on?
incredible.
Yeah, this last season,
You got me one. Yeah. Third season. Yeah.
I was very and the ending didn't bug me as much as it bugged some other people. I think the ending being as ambiguous as it was,
I
I
thought
think
it
really sets
worked.
you up to go. Yeah, I think it sets you up to go in a lot of different directions. But yeah,
Right.
it was of what I've watched the 2.5 seasons. It was the best season. I liked it better than season one. And
Oh,
season one
definitely.
was a fun season. That was good. And then and there's so much stuff I watch. I can't even remember. I'm like right now. I said tonight the lineup is Harley Quinn, and everybody's
I
loving
still
this
haven't
season.
jumped on that show.
I am not as pumped on it because I think since the focus has been
Really.
taken away from Harley and it's more on Poison Ivy, um, I feel like it's lost a little bit of its edge. I don't know. I know people are loving it. I mean, first off, it's Clayface, right? Oh my god, it just one
Yeah.
of the best animated characters. I mean, the way they portray him and Bane and King Shark. I mean, it just it's just so funny. They have
I'm
fun with
gonna have to
Batman this
check it
season,
out.
which is awesome. Oh yeah, they have fun with Batman. They have some really good fun with Nightwing. I appreciated that. Um, I don't know. Maybe I just want to get a little bit more Harley Quinn. I'm also going to watch so She Hulk, Harley Quinn, and then Resident Alien. And I don't know if you've watched that show, or but it's by Sci-Fi,
I've
and
heard good things.
yeah, watching the second half of the second season, and I just love the show. It's so quirky, it's so fun.
I
It's
like the guy that's in it. He's played so many different little
oh, he's
fun
awesome.
parts
He is
in
brilliant in the
movies
show.
and all. One of Pirate Steve. That's one
Yep,
of the big ones I remember him in, and I love him in everything he's in. He
yeah,
plays
yeah.
such.
Alan
He
Cherick or
brings
something
an
like that. I
energy
can't remember.
to it. Yeah,
Yeah, he's so damn good in this show, and it's just such a
he's
funny
hilarious.
show. I mean, yeah, it is. It's such a good show. And oh, real quick before I jump ship on you here, Halo. What do you think about Halo?
Man, I've never been a Halo guy. I never even tried it. I've heard that if you never watch the game, that you might actually like the series. It's just I don't know, man. There's
That
so
would be
much
me.
other stuff going on. I never got on it. I never got on
I
it.
um I watched it. I liked it a lot. The ending was a little,
Yeah,
but I liked it a lot.
right.
And again, I know of Halo. My brother played that game. I've seen other people play it. I'm not a video gamer. I
Yeah.
always tell people I have uncoordinated thumbs, and so that's not why I never got into video gaming. I mean, heck,
Right.
the last game I used to play was the Dragon's Lair, and I loved that game. I
Oh yeah,
love
I
that
remember
game.
that
That
one.
old days in the arcade, sitting there, and I just
Oh
love the
God, yeah.
Dragon's Lair. That was my game. But I watched that series, and I think what you said is right. I think for the people who played the game, a lot of them were really upset because they felt like the fighting aspect of it wasn't played enough. But I thought they did a
Right.
really good job with that show. Like I said, the ending was just kind of a little off, but no, it was good. It was good. But yeah, I'm just man, I watch so much stuff. It's like I watch
Oh, I
so much
know,
stuff.
man.
I love it.
I've
I
got
mean,
exactly. Yeah, Marvel and Star Wars have kept me very busy. That and Sandman, just all the different comic book series.
hmm
That pretty much keeps me. You know, when I don't have when I'm not drawing and when I'm not at work and when
yep, yep, yep.
I, there's there's no lack of content. I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if anything, it's scary how much content is out there. But
Dude, we are in a golden age of television. We really are.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Movies are a little different because they're pretty much dominated right now by Marvel and things like that. But there's also just so many good movies out there. Just really good, a lot of good
I've
stuff
been
around.
really
But
surprised this year. What? Not only Top Gun. Did you see Elvis?
no, I didn't, and I want to go see it. I'll
Oh
admit
my
this. So
God, it was so
again,
good. It
you
was
made
so
that
good.
depiction. You put up a depiction on your Instagram the other day or yesterday
Yeah,
maybe, and I am an Elvis fan.
just a
Okay,
couple days ago. Yeah,
I'm a big Elvis fan, and I was a little chip on my shoulder, was a little turn off by the casting, but I have a couple people
really.
who've seen it, and they said that you got to watch it. Yeah, I don't know why that. I've seen that actor in other movies, and I don't know. I just wanted to see somebody a little bit different. I didn't want to see was it I don't know, Michael Douglas. What's his name though? Who's with the Goldie Hawn? I remember when he played Elvis.
Kurt Russell.
Um,
Yeah, he
Kurt
played
Russell. Kurt
Elvis one
Russell.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just yeah, I'm gonna see it so I can appreciate it. Saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and I think I'm kind of like
Oh man, I
everybody.
hated that. I hated it.
I
Oh
I
God, I
like
hated
it just because yeah, look behind me, everything's Thor. I mean, Thor's my deal. But
it. Yeah,
I I've
that
seen it
movie
four
let me
times
down
now.
so hard.
I've seen it
Yeah.
four times, and the thing is, you have to live through the first act, and then it starts building up momentum, and I think it finishes really strong. The problem is that there's so much talk about it. Like first off, it was July release, so and this is
Yeah.
kind of like the Star Wars thing, where they're trying too much to play to that teenage, to that young kid audience
Right.
that's going to be going to movies in the summer, and that's why it's so silly and it's just
It
like so
wasn't
over the top.
balanced. Ragnarok was
No, no.
balanced, man.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you
yeah.
you
You're
had
right.
you had the humor, but oh my God, you had Ragnarok for
Yeah,
crying out loud.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Odin died. You had a lot of serious shit going on,
yeah. It
but
just
and it
yeah,
was balanced. and they went way overboard with this one, and they just
Yeah,
lost me. You know.
it was very silly, even stupid at times, and I hate
Oh
saying
yeah.
that because Taika puts, and this is actually I was talking about this the other day. Um, Taika's done some great works. I mean, from What We Do in
He
the
really
Shadows
has.
to Boy to the movie that he won the Oscar for, Jojo Rabbit, and
Jojo
even
Rabbit. Yeah.
this great movie, and even those, some of those. Boy didn't have a bunch of it, but some of those, yes, they have their silliness to it, but it's such a rich story, and Ragnarok had that too. And I'm like
Right.
you, I just feel like this movie tried so hard to be silly that by the time you started getting to the story, you're like, damn, that's more than an hour into the movie, and we've just played all this
Right.
gibbly gobbly, let's act stupid and be stupid, and I
Yeah.
think
The
the
hammer
thing
bit.
is,
It was funny the first time.
oh,
It just.
okay.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
still
They
love that.
were.
I love Stormbreaker being pissed off at Thor. I love that throughout the whole movie.
My favorite
That
though,
was,
the one that never got old to me was the goats. The goats killed me the
oh
whole
my
damn
god,
thing.
yeah, the ghosts were hilarious. I think doing the splits, that first fight scene,
That was
it was like if you
mm,
would have finished there with the shenanigans and the silliness and all that, fine. You open up and you start off with the quirk. But that's the thing. I think they've taken that arc too far in the sense that what was so great with what they did with Ragnarok, and then what they tied into Endgame and Infinity War and all that,
right.
is that yes, you let Chris Hemsworth do something that he does really well, which is add some comedic aspects to it. But then I think in Love and Thunder,
You
you try
really
to make him
mean.
like,
Really mean.
yeah, you try to make him Jerry Lewis, and I'm like, he's not Jerry Lewis. It's like
No.
that he can be funny about certain things, but when you're trying to make him just do joke after joke after joke after joke for a
Yeah.
character who, more than anybody in Marvel, nobody has suffered more than Thor. I mean,
No.
because if you're around
Nobody.
Thor, you will die eventually, okay? Unless you're Korg, who came back as a face. Which to me that sucked. I didn't want Korg to
Yeah.
die, but I thought that would have added some more depth to the movie. If Korg
Yeah.
died there, but then the whole face thing, and I just like, that was a problem. Is that anytime like you felt like, okay, here we're getting some meat, and then you'd have some silliness and some stupidity, and you're just like,
Yeah.
come on. It's like
I
I
mean,
just
they even made a joke out of her having cancer. It become a yuck factory over that. I mean,
it just,
they
yeah.
couldn't be serious about anything.
And I think that was a problem with it. It was where it missed its mark. It just didn't do what it needed to do, and I'm disappointed. And it's going to be interesting because they said Thor will come back. I don't know if that means he's going to be in Secret
Yeah.
Wars, or if he's going to be in some of these other movies that they're announcing. But if they're doing another one, both Taika and Hemsworth said, "Well, we only want to do it if we're going to work together." But I'm like, dude, you guys have got to get
They
the hell
don't
away
need to
from.
work together again.
Well, I mean, if
they
they can go back and
they
do
don't
what
need to let
Ragnarok
Lord.
was, if they can
Well,
get
see,
Ragnarok, yes,
here's
because
the
that's one of my top 5 movies in the Marvel industry.
Taika didn't write Ragnarok. He wrote Thor: Love and Thunder. He didn't write Ragnarok.
I didn't know that. Where'd you get that? Who wrote it?
Yeah. I'd have to pull it up, but he did not write
Yeah, because
Ragnarok.
I know him. Well, one of the things that he does, and they talk about his directing style, is that they go out there and, okay, they're going to shoot the scene, and then as they set up to do the scene, they'll do it, and then he's like, okay, well, just try this, and then they do, like, you'll literally do 5 different takes on a scene, or like that day of, they'll just change things up a bit. And I think while you're trying to be creative and do what you're supposed to do, you still kind of you got to kind of stick to that outline, and that foundation that you have. And I think that's the thing, is that with this movie, it seemed like they just veered off so much, because it was one of those things like, oh, remember all the jokes that we had here? Let's just take them up to another level, and
Right.
let's make another joke, and let's make another joke, and let's do this funny in this way, and this and that. And that's where it just, like, yeah, it was, you took funny scenes and then you just try to add way too much. There was too much salt in that soup, okay? It was just too
Yeah.
salty. So who wrote it? Did you look it up? I
Definitely.
saw you look at it.
Okay.
Who wrote
Yeah.
it?
Screenplay by Eric Pearson and the writing team Craig Kyle and Christopher Yost. And I'm not familiar with any of those guys.
I know who Christopher Yost is. He has written some other things. But see, on Ragnarok they did that too, though, where they would stay with the script, but then they would also add lib some things in because there's a lot of ad lib.
Hmm.
I know that
Oh yeah,
Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth, especially a lot of what they did,
a
a
lot.
lot of that was ad libs. Like they had this, but yeah, it just it was. I hate saying this because I love Thor, but yes, it was a disappointment, and it stinks because I like the first movie. I like the first movie a lot. I think people don't give that first movie enough credit for what it
I
was.
love the first movie. I
Yeah, the
love it.
second one probably one of the worst villains of all time. I mean, what they did to Malekith,
Oh
and
yeah,
if you've read the comic, I'm like, what the
he's such a
hell are you
great
doing?
character.
And then
Yeah,
Scourge was going to be awesome in that movie, and then they killed him off. I just like, what the hell?
yeah,
Like, you created this great character, and you wiped him
yeah.
out that quick. I was like, oh yeah, it was But I'm
Well, I
excited to
mean,
see.
even with our latest villain, I mean, one movie, he's gone.
Well,
You
and the
know.
thing of the bad part is like you can see really how well because I'm sorry, I think Christian Bale did a great job, but they left,
Oh
and he
yeah,
even said it. They left so much of what he did on the floor,
on the cutting room. Yeah,
and I'm just, I don't know.
I would
Again,
love, I would love to see some of that
oh yeah, big
because
time.
I mean, he's one of the greatest actors of our time.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
personally
I mean,
believe.
it's just
Bale's on a
disgusting
whole
how
nother level,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah. It's just disgusting how well he can do in so many different things. Um,
Yeah.
well, I guess that's about it. uh, well,
Well, dude, I'm gonna let you get to your shows and your pizza, and I really appreciate you coming on and just talking stuff with me, Robert. And
hey,
I hope we can do it
we got to
again,
keep it
man.
going. Yeah, we got to be talking about She
Oh yeah.
Hulk. What else is coming out
Oh,
soon?
definitely.
I
Andor.
know there's a
Or
Andor.
Andor.
Yes, yes, yeah. Again, anytime you want to chat, give me a ring. I'd love to talk.
Oh, we'll do it, man. And hey, again, I appreciate you coming on. Uh, everybody, jump on. Plug yourself, Robert.
Oh,
Tell everybody where they can find you at.
just go to Instagram, Cheesy Comics Shop. So that's comics with an S. Cheesy Comic Shop on Instagram, or www. Just go to cheesycomicsshop.com, and that's the website, which I need to update with all the new issues that just came in. So now we've got that. But yeah, Cheesy Comic Shop, because again, we're looking to do bigger, and I mean, just really get to the meat of this story with chapter 3, which we hope to have out by early in the year. I'm still debating like when I put that out, but it'll be 3 and
Right.
4 again. Like I did 1 and 2 kind of like back to back pretty quick. 3 and 4 will be that same thing.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Alrighty,
Hey,
sir.
and y'all don't sleep on Retribution. He's got an awesome book. And
Hey, thank you,
everybody,
Jerry.
y'all have a blessed one. Uh, take it easy, Robert.
All right, we'll see you, Jerry.